Welcome back to the Marathon series in depth. Try Again is the second to last level in the first Marathon game, and the first level featuring the very dangerous Juggernauts. The level was created by Greg Kirkpatrick, however Greg didn't comment on it, so here is what Jason Jones had to say about it. Greg always forgets this, but he named this level Try Again because his first attempt sucked, so he threw it away, launched Vulcan, and named his new map Try Again. Vulcan is obviously the name of Bungie's internal map editor that they used for making levels in the first Marathon game. As I said in the last video, there was originally going to be 2 levels tied to the level Welcome to the Revolution. These levels were originally planned to be called What is Best in Life and Watch for Ice on Bridge. Neither of these level design notes seemed to fit this level. Perhaps the original attempt was one of these 2 levels. The original level design notes say that What is Best in Life was originally going to be a Greg Kirkpatrick level, so perhaps that was the first attempt. Whatever the case was, Try Again is the level we end up with, and is somewhat fitting considering the numerous teleporters on the map that take you who knows where. The new enemy we will fight in this mission is the Juggernauts. They are the toughest opponent we will face in the first Marathon game, and here is what the official strategy guide has to say about them. Be afraid, be very afraid. Juggernauts, or Death from Above as I like to call them, are blimp-like creatures of mass destruction. Usually hovering high in the air, Juggernauts launch their guided grenades at you with resounding persistence. To make matters worse, they are also armed with machine guns. So how can you defeat them? Answer: the Spanker, or rocket launcher, is probably your best bet. Once you get a Juggernaut in your sights, fire 2 rockets in quick succession and then get out of there as fast as you can. He'll no doubt fire inbound grenades the second he sees you. After you kill him, you'll hear what sounds like a garbage truck backing up, and in a way, that's exactly what you'll be hearing. Run as fast as you can to avoid being incinerated in the immense explosion that will occur when his body hits the ground. Death from above. You do have your rocket launcher with you, don't you? In the first Marathon game, the Juggernauts are immune to projectiles, which would be your pistol bullets and the primary fire in your assault rifle. These weapons are not wise choices against the Juggernaut anyways. Your best bet is a spigot rocket launcher, and keep hiding behind quarters after every shot. The fusion pistol can also be effective, however it takes quite a lot of shots to take the Juggernaut down. There is some debate in the Marathon community on what exactly the Juggernaut is. Is it a shuttle that the 4 ride on? Is it a drone? Is it a mutated 4? Is it a slave race? There's really not a clear answer in the Marathon lore. If you look close at the Juggernaut sprites, you will notice that the Juggernaut has 3 red eyes and a mouth. This is depicted more clearly in one of Craig Mullen's art images. The 3 eyes seem to suggest that the head is that of a 4. How strange. If you take a look at the death animations, you will find that the Juggernaut head bleeds yellow, much like the other 4. The rest of the Juggernaut appears to bleed green, which perhaps means that the rest of the Juggernaut is mechanical in nature. Perhaps this is some sort of mutant, much like the 4 cyborg we defeated on Phorophobia. Who really knows? I should note that the Juggernauts are quite a bit different in the sequels, but we will discuss that when we get there. Alright, so something a lot of you might not notice when you start this level is these hunters start with your back to you, so you can actually have some room to maneuver. See, that one in the hallway behind Samido. So like, and then there's this guy. Like, you could take out that guy first, so that way you don't have someone shooting your back. But as you see, it's not that bad. It's a good amount of ammo in here. Let's read this first terminal. At collection number 593 exclamation mark equals 394. Warning, number 157. Symbol enter I task is not marked as weak, but its library IO task is. Warning number 157. Symbol kill I task is not marked as weak, but its library IO task is. Warning number 157. Symbol new I task is not marked as weak, but its library IO task is. Warning number 157. Symbol status I task is not marked as weak, but its library IO task is. Warning number 157. Symbol idle I task is not marked as weak, but its library IO task is. Error number 81. Symbol exit I task undefined. Execution of interface.cout.term.pub terminated. Gibberish. The colony has been wiped out. Just like that. Gibberish. The four slavers, the trading empire, rose to prominence soon after Earth over 300 years ago. The four make extensive use of subservient client races for man labor at home as soldiers abroad. Most of their slaves are taken from low technology worlds, often by the hundreds of hairless, light-skinned bipeds nearly 2 meters in height with 3 red eyes arranged in triangular pattern. Thousands at a time, usually for sale to high-technology races. Though certain client races are often employed as soldiers, the four have no reluctance to fight. Leela Wirehead. Finish the battle. Most of the terminal is gibberish, but there are some important things in the terminal that I will highlight for you. The first section of this terminal has a bunch of gibberish with various things being marked as weak. What could this mean? Some Marathon fans have pointed out that this section contains errors you might see when compiling code. The first person on the Marathon story page to point this out was El Yon. He explained that IO task is a library with multiple routines inside it. The routine would basically be a string of code that would run. Basically, a programmer could refer to the library and routine throughout their code so that they could just write the code for that routine once. In this garbled message, the routines with the IO task library would be kill I task, new I task, status I task, idle I task, and exit I task. Note that the IO part of the IO task library likely stands for input and output. Thus, within the routine itself, the I task, for example, likely stands for an input task. Richard McCohen was the first to point out that a weak link allows a program to run even if the library reference is not present. This means that the code being compiled has some of the library set as weak, while the symbols and routines are not. With this understanding, you would see that these errors are somewhat trivial, and Leela won't have much problem fixing these errors in the future. The last error, however, tells us that the routine or symbol exit I task is undefined. This means that the code was never told that this was a routine, and thus it resulted in the code being terminated, as the code did not know what to do with the string. I should note that the last line, cout, is the standard output command in C++. This line seems to tell us that the standard code in the Marathon that is used to output text to the terminals was terminated and is not working properly for Leela. Regardless, it seems that Leela still found a way to reach us, although she was unable to speak to us clearly. Next we read that the colony's ship was wiped out. The last time we heard from the colony was back on the final terminal in Defend This. In this terminal, the situation seems quite dire, and we had lost communication with the colony. It's sad to hear that the situation did not get any better. Marathon fans have pointed out that the phrase about the colony ship being wiped out doesn't actually appear in the terminal resource fork itself. What this means is that it is referenced in form from a different location within the game code. Fans theorize that perhaps Bungie was originally planning to have a way for the player to save the colony on Mars depending on their choices. This means that the code would either reference the colony being saved or destroyed. Other fans theorize that this reference was not intentional and was actually a mistake in the game code, since the text is referring to a bunch of other garbage text. This is because the %R portion of the code is the part that is referencing the string about the colony being wiped out. It certainly seems possible that this was just a mistake. Whatever the case, in the final version of the game, this will always read that the colony was destroyed. Leela says that we left Earth over 300 years ago. While Leela is correct that the Marathon left over 300 years ago, 322 to be exact, the Marathon did not leave Earth, but left Mars. This is really just a small detail though, because if you look at a map that was zoomed out to show the path followed, Earth and Mars could virtually be on top of each other. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that there are reasons to not overanalyze this discrepancy. The terminal tells us a little bit about the four slave races. We learned that they have a trading empire that rose to prominence soon after the Marathon was launched. I should note that the Empire could exist for a long time before rising to prominence. Also, the Four could have been conquering races for a long time before this, but we just know that their trading empire boomed in recent history. Anyways, the Four used the slave races for labor back on their homeworld and for soldiers abroad. It seems that the Four typically take low technology races as slaves. The next part talks about some of the physical features of the Four themselves. We already know this information as the security officer is quite well acquainted with the Four. The next part tells us that the Four usually sell off the races to high technology races. They sell thousands of slaves at a time. I would definitely consider this a trading empire. Understanding this makes it clear that the Four believe that the humans are a low technology race. It seems that they underestimated humanity as we were able to take the Sphera along with the compilers. Although Durandal may have deceived the Four into thinking we were a low technology race, the AI is fairly clever after all. We also learned that the Four often hire client races to fight for them even though they have no reluctance to fight themselves. It seems that the Four are happy to use other races to their advantage, whether it is through force or coin. Thinking through this information Leela shares with us, the question of where exactly did the information come from? How did Leela know about the Four's trade empire, for example? The most likely answer are from the compilers. Of course, Durandal could also be sharing this information with Leela, although the information would still be originating from the compilers. It could also be coming from the Four mothership too, as Durandal is gaining control of the ship. Some fans theorize that this terminal message is actually part of the message Leela sent to Earth back in G4 sunbathing. The only issue I see with this is how did Leela know the colony was wiped out at that point? We are just hearing about it now. Of course, this could be explained that Leela learned of this and just didn't tell us, however this is a bit unclear. Leela ends the message again with the words Wirehead. It makes you wonder if Leela really is in control or not. Perhaps Leela is being controlled by the compilers, or perhaps this is just a remnant of their influence until she can regain back her functions. We don't really know. Our mission, however, seems to be that we need to finish the battle. That we will. Now, to start this mission off, there is a doorway here. And you notice this little texture pattern? Well, we're gonna open it up, and that's the ×3 shield recharge station. You kind of come down here. You notice these polygon textures on the floor. Let's just come in the hallway. This is the first Juggernaut. This is probably the easiest Juggernaut to take out because of the way the ceiling textures are. His rockets hit the ceiling like half the time from this hallway. You see, that one got me. He's probably almost dead. Let's just go back and heal. We'll let them come. One thing you should notice, like the kind of like the texture changes in this level. Like you can kind of see how like the lighting has changed. Like it's just some of this level just seems a little off. You know what I mean? The level still looks good, but despite that, though, you can just tell that it wasn't really polished. There's a teleport over there if you want to run all the way around. There's not much point to going into it. Okay, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go back There's an unfinished message on the final terminal. So we're gonna go towards that direction and get that. Actually, let's just use this. I'm surprised only one of those died. I thought it was going to kill them both for sure. It's still a secret here, but I'll show you that later. This little hunter down here is really annoying. I have to keep playing hide and seek with these guys. Like, the hard part is I don't even know if I'm hitting them half the time. Probably most of my bullets are missing. He's dead. Okay. They do give you enough rocket launchers to take this out. Guys, all these out in total carnage, which is nice. I don't know if you'd have enough if you didn't like save some of your Spinker rocket ammo in previous levels. I could try to beat the level without it, but it would just take forever. You know, I'd just be doing what I'm doing with probably like the fusion pistol, and that would not be very fun to watch. Okay, I'm just gonna give a quick save. Let's go. We're gonna keep going that path that I was going and get to the exit terminal. So that's the secret. We'll get that later, but if you come under here, that opens up. So you just gotta go underneath this little passageway. There's nothing over here. But yeah. You can jump in that little cubby, and there's a ×2 shield recharge station in the lava, but it's nice of them to line up for me. And interestingly, the last terminal is guarded by this hunter. And he's like on the terminal, so let's see what Leela has to say. Public access terminal 480-A. Incoming message, Leela. Must defeat 4. Core reformatting commencing. 4 are breathing last. Finish them. End of message. Not much to say here. We must defeat the 4 on this level before Leela will transport us off. Also, her core reformatting is still ongoing. Let's continue. Okay, obviously we need to explore more. So this one should take us back to the bridge. Right here. And so like this was the secret to open up so we can get this transparency chip BCE. And then let's just run back. Well, we might as well just explore. We have full shield, so let's just go into here. I'll show you this ×2 shield recharge station. Yeah, but health is already full. You can kind of jump up to this. It's kind of nice. You can shoot the grenade in the lava and then you don't eat damage. I don't even know why I'm saving ammo at this point in the game. So here's another Juggernaut right here. Oh! Well... Anyways, I didn't expect that rocket to hit the wall. Whatever. Alright. You get the idea. We already... I think we need... We need to go to the exit terminal again, but that's alright. Let's, I didn't try to, Okay, this one is a pain to take out from over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the other side. So you can just step right here and come to the other side. And he's gonna be a lot easier to take out here because we don't have to worry about that door closing. It's way easier. By the way, that's that little room that I shot my spanker from and killed myself. Okay, now we're all the way back here, so we could just... Let's just run and save it and then run to the next area. Okay, there's the next Juggernaut right here. I'm just gonna make sure there's no enemies here. There is none. I think that guy's actually way out there. This guy kind of patrols back and forth. I don't know if his AI is programmed to do that or if that's just like if he's specifically told to do that, or that's just what he does. But he does patrol back and forth. So because of that, you can kind of predict his movement patterns. I did run out of spanker rockets, surprisingly. There is some more on this map, so maybe it's just the way I'm going about it. I didn't pick up more spankers. Huh? Come on, man. There he goes. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay, we're gonna run across. Well, no, we're not. Let's go back and heal up, and then we'll save, and then we'll go back and show you that secret teleporter. So we're gonna jump into this little teleporter right here. Oops. Oh, I made it somehow. And then we're gonna run across here, because there's a little secret over here. And there's a transparency chip. Bungie headquarters, Chicago. Incoming message from Bungie. Here are some cool things to try if you've never figured them out. Air 4. Whenever shooting at anything with explosive munitions, aim at their feet. Hang time. Point down at the floor, run forwards, and launch a grenade or missile. Flying. When in low gravity on the alien ship, point down and use a flamethrower or the alien weapon to fly. Climbing walls. Correct application of grenades to one's own feet while running parallel to a wall can allow players to climb them. Dead Man's Discharge. A charged fusion pistol discharges when its owner dies. Nigh Invulnerability. Invincible. Players can be hurt by the fusion gun. We have Tone. Guided munitions can't track invisible players. There are some other things too, but we wouldn't want to give away all our secrets. Most of the things in this terminal we have already talked about, so I won't repeat them here. The Dead Man's Discharge and Nigh Invulnerability would only be relevant in multiplayer. We Have Ton is relevant when you are invisible and fighting some compilers, since their attacks are tracking. Obviously this would also help with the Juggernauts. It is kind of cool that Bungie put some of these secrets towards the end of the game for the players to discover here if they hadn't tried already. It might give people a reason to go back to the foreship and try flying around with flamethrower if they haven't yet, for example. Anyways, let's continue with the game. Alright, then if you run down here, that's just a dead end over there. You come down here and we get some more spanker rockets at the end, which apparently we need. So nice. Now we're here, so I think we want to go explore this area. There's some more rockets here. Got me looking at my map. And this goes to the exit terminal. I think there might be a few things on the map we haven't grabbed yet. So we'll get those first. Like first, since we died, we didn't get this secret. I was wondering where these 4 went. Okay, I don't think we explored, because we died, I don't think we explored everything at the end of this, so let's just run across this real quick. So this is where apparently there's not enough room for Spanker here. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. So I think I showed you everything. So let's go back, heal and save. We'll grab that transparency chip, PCE, on the way out of the level. That way we'll be all geared up for the next level. So this level, it's really not that challenging once you understand how to go about it, how to deal with the Juggernauts. If you don't have enough Spanker rockets, it is a little bit more challenging, but it's mostly just time consuming to kill those Juggernauts. Public Access Terminal 480-A. Incoming message from Leela. I should be more lucid now and apologize for my earlier rambling. Durandal's meddling has run its course and I have returned to normalcy. Neither he nor the Spit infiltrators ever discovered my real location in the core, and though they destroy nearly all my child processes, I myself am unharmed. Our most pressing concern is the ship and her crew, but I feel compelled to share with you that Durandal has left the ship. I can find him nowhere on our network, and traffic logs over the last half hour show 64 billion exabytes transferred off of and deleted from the Marathon. I am only beginning to understand his motives for assisting us against the Four, and am terrified by their implications. There is one last major incursion, and I feel the four are breaking. I will take you there. We must persevere. Prepare for transfer. End message. Jump pad activation, initiation start. Transfer when ready. Leela starts off with telling us that the AI should be back and functioning well now. She tells us that Durandal and the compilers both meddled with her and that they were unable to find the real location of her core. I suppose this would be her core files. Perhaps if they did, they would have been able to either destroy Leela completely or convert her to their side. It says that they did manage to destroy most of her child processes, which is probably what we were seeing in the terminal at the start of this level. I should note that it does appear that Durandal was not intending to wipe her out completely, as he was the one who initiated a core logic reset on her higher thought functions. This was from the first terminal on Welcome to the Revolution. Of course, the Svit and Durandal's goals with Leela were likely not the same originally. Leela informs us that Durandal has left the ship. She tells us that Durandal is nowhere on the ship and that Durandal transferred 64 billion exobytes off the Marathon. An exobyte is apparently 10 to the 18th power number of bytes. This would be equivalent to 1 billion gigabytes. So if you have 64 billion of those, well, that is so much data, we aren't even close to seeing anything like that on our system today. This shows the sheer size of data that is required for rampant AI to run. I wonder if the Sphera allows for even more room for the rampant AI to grow as compared to the Marathon. Anyways, it's kind of curious why the AI can't just replicate itself and run on two distinct computers, but perhaps Durandal has a reason for not leaving a copy of his AI on board the Marathon. Perhaps he doesn't want to risk his AI getting captured by the four still on board the Marathon. What do you guys think? Leela tells us that she is only beginning to understand Durandal's motives for assisting the four, and that terrifies her. Of course, she's referring to the fact that Durandal called the four to the Marathon ship. If you think about it, outside of this, Durandal has been actively working against the four the whole game, with the exception of his aid to the compilers. This shows that his motives probably have something to do with the ship, the Sphera, since he is actively taking it from them. It seems that Tycho likely knows more about Durandal's motives as compared to Leela, although Tycho comes across as a bit overconfident, so it's hard to say. It seems that we have one last major battle with the four left, which checks out since there is just one more mission left in the first Marathon game. I'm excited to wipe the last of the four off the Marathon. The song for this mission is Landing. You would think we might get a bit more of an upbeat song for a mission like this, but perhaps Bungie was going for more of a mysterious and eerie feeling as we explore the large map and fight against the Juggernauts for the first time. The mission features several rooms with lava pits, which might have you wondering what is up with all the lava. Well, I'm here to tell you that I don't really understand it either. The largest lava area on the map is called Fusion Vent 9, so perhaps this area has some of the fusion reactors that we learned about earlier in the game. In the third mission, Never Burn Money, we learned that the four were trying to destroy the Marathon's primary reactors in the engineering section of the ship. Another map annotation reads Engineering Storage, so it is clear that we are in the engineering section of the ship. Later on in a terminal on Barbecue, we had learned that the four were trying to transport a large bomb to the reactors in an attempt to destroy them. With the four leaving the Sphera, their goal may have shifted from destroying the reactors to taking them over. Either way, it is fitting to have one of the last major fights on the Marathon in this section of the ship, as it seems to be a critical component of the Marathon. At the start of the mission, there is a closet with a bunch of ammo by the pattern buffers that you do not want to miss. Also, don't forget to read the terminal. To make the level much easier, there is actually a hidden ×3 shield recharge station right behind the door at the start of the mission. The wall texture sort of hints that something should be there, but it's easy to miss. To open it up, all you have to do is enter one of the polygons in the room directly southwest of the starting room. This isn't very obvious, but once you've found it, the map becomes much easier to clear out because you can just run back and recharge your shields as needed. This ends up making the map much easier than some of the maps we have already cleared up so far. The room with this polygon is also a room that overlooks one of the four Juggernauts in the map. Two of the other Juggernauts are in Fusion Vent 9, and one is in the engineering storage. In order to get to the next mission, you must take out all 4 of these Juggernauts and most of the 4 enemies. This map is littered with teleporters, and you literally do not have to take any of the teleporters in order to get through the mission. For this reason, I am not going to explain where each and every one of these teleporters go, as it's really not that important. In fact, it's probably best to just ignore almost all of them entirely for your sanity. There is one secret teleporter you should absolutely not miss, however, and that is in the room just to the north of the starting location. All you have to do is to grenade hop on top of the short little column in the middle of the room, and this will take you to the secret room with a super shield BCE. This secret room is actually accessible by running through the lava too, and opening the door from the opposite side. Once you know it's there, it might be easier to get to it through the lava, since you don't have to eat a grenade. There are actually 3 different directions you could come from to reach the secret, so you have some options. Near the secret, there's a drop off in lava to a small hallway that leads to some more spanker ammo, so make sure that you don't miss this hallway either. The opposite end of the hallway still has a placement for the Armageddon Beast. This was one of the removed aliens I talked about back on Unforgiven. I suppose having the Armageddon Beast down there would have made this hallway much more dangerous. On the northernmost part of the map, which I already pointed out, is called Engineering Storage. There are a few interesting things I should point out about this room. Obviously, there is a Juggernaut, but we already mentioned that. If you go under the small underpass, you will open up a doorway that leads to a transparency chip BCE. It's not the most helpful thing, but I'll take it. If you jump to the right doorway at the end of the raised platform, you'll find a ×2 shield recharge station in the hallway filled with lava. How long it takes for the shield recharge station to fill your shield is a little bit annoying, but this is the only shield recharge station you'll find if you didn't notice the one at the beginning. You can also quickly reach this shield recharge station from the super shield BCE if you chose to go that route. In the middle of the lava pit between the 2 Juggernauts in Fusion Vent 9 is a small area you can jump to with some grenade hopping. There's a hunter there, so you might want to use the super shield BCE in order to safely reach this secret. This secret features the infamous terminal from Bungie that gives us some hints and tricks about getting good in Marathon. It also has another invisibility BCE. Wow, 3 BCEs in one level? Aren't we lucky? One last thing I should note is in that southernmost lava pit with the Juggernaut, there is a polygon in the lava where you will not take damage. It's fairly obvious where this polygon is once you see the mistake in the ceiling textures. This gives the impression that some of the level was a rushed job. It is impressive though that the level has so many different paths and things to do in a level that was likely a rushed job. Another supporting evidence that this level may have been rushed was the fact that there isn't any original level design notes. You could argue that this was going to be what is best in life, but as we discussed, the 2 separate level path ideas after Welcome to the Revolution was abandoned. What is the best in life was clearly going to be one of those 2 levels. Also, Jason Jones said that Greg threw away the first idea of this map and then called this one Try Again from the get-go. Anyways, the exit terminal to leave this mission is in the top left corner of the map. I could discuss more about the map, but I think everything else is just not going to be that interesting beyond what I've already shown in the gameplay footage. Well, that's it for this mission. I'll see you next time in Ingwe Forokwe, where we will complete the first Marathon game.